unbend the pin, pull the pin out, pull the nut. There's only one washer and it goes on the side of the nut. So you want that off. And then to get the pressure off of this bolt, we're going to rock the rotor down until it runs into the droop stops here, and it just barely picks up the bolt. And then when it picks up the bolt, it'll slide out by hand, so you can just push it right on out. And then once you've got it out halfway, you're going to take the first spacer out. The spacers have to go back in the same side that they come out of. So they should be marked with a dot. So once you get these out, should have enough pressure off of that to get it out. There it goes. You just rock the head a little bit, takes the pressure off of everything. Out they pop. That's that side, like that now. And then the same thing on this side, you just press down on the blade over here a little bit, takes the pressure off, and the bolt can just slide right out without any troubles. And then second spacer. Here's the second. I'm just going to lift the rotor off and set it down where my feet are. You ready?
Right.
Watch out for propeller blades. There we go. All right. You got the 13 millimeters. So what you need to know is that there's a number on the hub bar, on the blade clamping material, and on the blade itself. On the blade sleeve or clamping material, it's on the front right here. On the blade, it's back here on the trailing edge where my index finger is over here. And then it's somewhere on the hub itself. There'll also be that same number. And there'll be two sets of numbers, one for each blade. So you'll have to match up make sure that they match up. Okay, we're just going to take the bolts out. Each of the bolts is a different size. You've got two big ones, and then each of them is smaller going down. And so the smallest one on the outside, the two big ones on the inside. And these are 13 millimeter. Alex do it. To take these off, you can use high-speed electric if you want. Put them back on. Just put them up to tight, to snug, and then we'll use the torque wrench to finish it off. So in order to get the bolts here to free out so that they're easy to lift up, you need to have the stool about halfway out. What it is that it's the place where the top and bottom plate are equally distant from the blade itself here. And once you have it in the right spot, these will just slide up really easy. If it's not in the right place, it'll bind up. You can find it if it's almost in the right place by pushing up or down on the blade to get the bolts to come out easy. So once it's in the right place, they just pop right out. And then you just put them out here in the same order that they come out. If they are stubborn and won't move, twisting the bolt back and forth a little bit while you push on it with your finger on the bottom can usually get them to to come out. And then you can see the blade, the distance that I was talking about is here. See, this one's too high and the one on the bottom's too low. In order to get that to balance out, what you need is this spool to go out just a little bit further. And by making it go out a little bit further, it'll make those plates match up better. And I'm going to slide this blade out this direction, and it'll just balance on that chair over there. You ready? Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to pull this whole thing this direction, let it down a little bit, down a little bit, down a little bit, down a little bit, and then it's out. And then this can just sit down here, and then you take the blade clamping material off. And again, these all have the same serial number. There's a serial number here, there's a serial number here on the blade, and there's a serial number on the hub. Okay, taking this one off. And that's it. We just clean it up and then drop all the bolts into it. So all the bolts would go in here, and it's ready for ready for shipping. We just drop the bolts back into the same holes in the same order and put the used nuts on it for shipping, and then brand new nuts will go on when we reinstall. Gotcha. We're going to clean this up, so we're going to put a little light oil on it to clean off the old grease, and then that'll be ready to put the new grease on, and then we'll be ready to reinstall. You need a little bit of oil in the where the blades are going to slide together, just to make things easier, and also on the clamping area here where the hub slides in. So if you just put a little oil on there, it doesn't need to be a lot, and you can just spread it out there, and same thing on the bottom side, enough that it's just makes it slide easy so nothing's binding up. And then that's going to slide onto there, like so. And then the hub bar, making sure that the numbers all match, is going to slide onto that. This is going to slide on here, like so. Make all the holes match up best you can here, and then we're going to slide this back this way so it balances a little easier. And the small bolt goes on this end. Once you get one in, you can start moving up, and everything will start aligning a little bit better as you go. I'm going to have to pull these back out because I need to put some grease on them, but this will let me get initially lined up. So there they're all lined up. And then each of these can get greased. You need some, we use white lithium. So it's just a white lithium grease. About the simplest grease you can buy. And you need to make sure that these aren't going to be dry when they're in there, or they'll be really hard to get back out next time you want to pull it out. And a little bit of grease in the hole itself as well. And then that'll go in, slides right in, and then do the same thing on the next one. These are at an angle, so the second blade's a little harder to put on. You've got to rotate them both so that they're the same angle. And it helps to have two people. You can spread this out like so and twist the blades so that they match up. Yep, and we get them close, and then the same thing again, we'll just drop the bolts in to make them line up, and then we'll grease each bolt individually. And this is where it helps again to have it just the right angle. Once you get it just the right angle and get a few bolts started, then they just kind of drop in. torque them up. These all get torqued to 20.
Newton meters.
Yeah, 20 Newton meters. And these are 13 millimeter nuts. And we'll send out brand new hex nuts. So you'll have brand new ones to put on. Each time you take it off and put it on, you should use new nuts. You can get these nuts by the dozens at your local Fastenal. So here we go. First one to 10, 20, there it is. And then move off to the next one. Nothing really fun to look at, but that's it. And do them all the same, just to 20 newtons. And you're going to start from the inside and go toward the outside. Drop this onto here, give it a little grease in the middle, and then take that off. We're going to put a little grease on the rotor bolt. Slide this a little bit out away, and then when it tips up like this, when it pushes it down, it brings it up to the center. See that?
Uh-huh.
So you have to push it out away, and then it just slides right in. So then we put the washer on that's got the 2 dots on it on this side. That'll go here. I'm going to rock this up so that the bolt can go in. And then once the bolt's in, I can kind of center this up, rock it again until it slides in. That's the first washer in. And then with the first washer in, I can just press down on the blade to make it easy to move, push it over, and then put the one that has the 1 dot on it on the side with the 1 dot. Same thing, I'm going to press it to the side, push it down to get it to come up, slide the washer in, and then once it's in, again just push down on the blade a little bit to get it to slide in. And it goes in almost like magic.
Nice.
And then washer, and then nut, and then cotter pin. And we just do a simple bend on the cotter pin. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like here in just a second.
Okay.
So what you want to do is you want to tighten this up enough to where all the slack is out of here, left and right, so it's only hand tight. But you should still be able to turn at least one of these. So right now I have it just a little too tight. If you take just a little pressure off of it, you should be able to turn one of the washers by hand like this. And that's all that it needs. And then split pin goes in, wherever the hole is. Can't find it. There it is. Split pin goes in, and then you bend it.